been able to create magic out of seemingly nothing at times. We'll see which one comes out on top at the start of this series. Game 1 on your screen.
If you want to go back and look at the group stages for both teams, NRG were a bit more shaky. They had a much more difficult time just getting to this point, getting to this position. They had to go into a playoff or into a tiebreaker match, excuse me, to make it into the upper bracket in the playoffs against Rogue, who they originally dropped a series to. Meanwhile, Spacestation Gaming, they looked fantastic in the group stage. Their toughest matchup was against Shopify Rebellion. It went to game 5, but they still ended up clutching it out, going 3-0. So maybe that extra win, that better score line coming into here might give them a boost of confidence. We'll have to see.
For me, Spacestation Gaming, if this team honestly changes up their style and makes it really hard for NRG to get a read on what they're doing, I think that they'd have a really good shot. We saw that with the Rogue win earlier on. Ooh. As Justin's gonna send one to the top corner to kick things off for NRG.
Yeah, and a slower approach on the defensive side from Spacestation Gaming. Arsenal, he was panicking a bit on the backboard, didn't want to go up for the ball, thought that waiting would be better, but ended up hesitating. And you give a free shot to somebody like Justin, he is going to make it count.
So again, that top right corner setting the tone. Justin up again. Flipper set straight to Garrett. Follow up. Arsenal made it back in time. What a stretch to make that save.
We're going to need to see a lot of that from Justin in that last series that these guys played against each other. Justin had 1.17 goals per game, 31% shooting accuracy, nearly averaging 4 shots a game as well. I mean, the dude was just a menace on offense. So a lot of responsibility coming onto his shoulders on taking down that SSG defense, and he's already started off on the right foot in game 1.
So SSG defense trying to get some little bit of control here. Reynolds with the ball, lead out in front. Arsenal's looking for a demo. Daniel follow up the shot placement on that one. Daniel with a tie.
And maybe a bit of frustration from Squishy as he ended up tapping his analog sticks after this one went in the wrong position. Couldn't get the save as well. There was a pre-jump on the play, but overall, Spacestation Gaming, they know how to maneuver that ball, and they end up tying it up. Really quick goals back-to-back, Daz. And you'd think it would be a little bit low scoring to start things off, but these teams are ready.
Oh, yeah. You can see it on the cams with that SSG roster locked in. Reynolds trying to get the double on that. Garrett denies. They'll be kind of played out here in the corner. Daniel, though, with some free space. And Justin, you see how early that pre-jump kind of comes in from Justin, trying to eliminate any possibility of Daniel getting into the air because they know what kind of threat he is.
Yeah. And that's an interesting, topic of conversation. If there's a player on the other team that you notice is highly mechanical, I mean, do you switch things up when you're approaching that? I think you have obviously more respect for them in the air, but I can't see NRG backing down from any challenges like that because they've got players themselves who can match that pace and pretty much match those mechanics.
Daniel up now. You bring up a good point. The mechanics on NRG, everyone has that potential to make a highlight play. We've seen people talk about this roster and what exactly they can do, and it's just so surprising to see them even being together as long as they have been, still at the top. And you've gotten North America making these changes to combat them, just like we see right now with SSG and Daniel. But game still tied up. We're in the 2-minute mark, and SSG still looking for a way downfield.
Things have slowed down on the pitch, Daz. A lot more focus on those 50-50s. For example, Garrett G and Justin just now in the midfield had to force that 50-50 out, waiting for a mistake potentially from Spacestation Gaming. Here's Garrett G off the backboard. It's up for Squishy Muffins, who has a high-flying shot off the top bar. Doesn't go in. Justin then crashes, still can't get the shot. And we've got a high frequency amount of shots coming in. Maybe something from Garrett G doesn't find one, and it's back for Spacestation Gaming with some possession.
Good control from Arsenal. Looking for Reynolds in that midfield. Ball will get knocked away. Daniel put it in open space, but Garrett G is gonna kick this one out for now. NRG trying to transition, but they're gonna have to give away that possession. Not a lot of boost, and Squishy didn't want to commit his third man. They'll end up winning here in the midfield now. But still, I mean, even with that transition we saw from SSG moving upfield, both teams, definitely, it kind of feels like a chess match here on the field between the two. That decisions whether to give the ball away or not, as we all know, Every player on the field has that ability to kind of control the ball, keep it close, play some 50s out. They are definitely thinking about at least 2 steps ahead where they've been playing.
Yeah, and this is similar to that last matchup that we saw between FaZe Clan and G2. I believe Wavepunk and Chiefs were also talking about how each individual decision in a game like this, where things have slowed down, it's going to be so important. It doesn't matter what it could be. It might be going for that boost, going for an extra corner boost, maybe taking a smaller boost pad. Something that small can have such a big impact when it gets down to the wire. Justin off the corner looking to set up somebody in the midfield that was Squishy, who doesn't find the shot on net, but he keeps the pressure forward, and this could be something for NRG. And just when you think they have a shot or an opportunity, Spacestation can battle back and turn this one on offense.
Final few seconds. Squishy with some control. Reynolds kicks it out to Daniel. What's Daniel going to do? Garrett G goes up to try to stop him. Flip reset comes out, but it doesn't matter. Ball hits the corner down, and NRG and SSG are in overtime on game 1.
All right, let's see what we get. Squishy real fast off the kickoff, and that one actually might float in just in the cleanup, all thanks to Squishy Muffins and the hustle off the kickoff.
Oh, the 50 right there that you see from Squishy to set that all up. Completely threw off the defense, and it's an easy follow-up from Justin.
Insane. Just those small little touches. That's all it comes down to. One small 50-50, and that's the end of game 1. It didn't come down to any crazy mechanical play, nothing out of the ordinary, just a smart positional awareness from Squishy, and that's it.
It's still kind of surprising, though. You know the ability from everybody, and that's the way we end game 1, huh?
Yeah. Look, you know, it's not anticlimactic, all right? They know what they're up against, Daz. They're waiting. They're reserving their energy. We haven't seen any flip resets. We haven't seen any double taps. All right, it's nice and simple, fundamental Rocket League. What more can you ask for?
A couple more flip resets. I think that's
I
what
would like that too.
I would like that. Maybe a double. You know, there's a, you know, when you see these guys on the field, the 50 into the net is the least thing you would expect here. But that also goes to show just how close these guys are on the field, to where it comes down to like the individual mechanical plays. Again, go back to talking about that chess match between the players, and it's just a little bit more than, you know, it's just more than what you do. The intentional touches. We've seen it again. NRG can move upfield with the ball, but they'll let it go to SSG if they don't think it's a good enough play. That's a big 50 win for Daniel to start us off, but just a little bit off target. And now Justin and Garrett, a bit of a double commit as they try to move upfield. Yeah, and those are the mechanics you want to see out of Daniel, the rookie on the roster. And where were the demos from Spacestation Gaming? Maybe game 1 they were getting things warmed up, like I mentioned, but a big routine play for them has always been setting Reddles and Arsenal up forward, getting a demo on that third man, taking the goalkeeper out, and that opens a lot of space up for Daniel, who's usually in that third man spot waiting to clean up. Here's Daniel, though, getting a bump, and then the setup from Reddles out for Arsenal, but it's read by NRG, and their defense stands tall. And I mean, that's really good, though, on the defense, as Daniel will put that double to the side. Justin had an awkward clear midfield, still managed to turn it into a pass to Garrett, and even then another one after Daniel gets that boom back. Just because you get these guys a little bit out of position, again, the mechanics really come in when they're able to turn it into teamwork style plays, and that's evidence on both sides of the field, as it's still been a stalemate within the first minute. Yeah. For Ben Temple, it's getting a little shaky. Daniel. Yeah, and you see Daniel in the midfield. He was waiting after the 50-50, really good positioning. And Reynolds, this is the demo game, as well as Daniel, that we expected to see more physical plays out of Spacestation Gaming. This is their play style that they love, and that actually got them quite a few amount of goals in their previous matchup. We need that physical play if they want to have any chance against NRG. Physical play did leave some open lanes, but this is a good chance now. Arsenal to Daniel versus Squishy to Arsenal, who'll get the finish. SSG passing it all the way downfield. And this one might have been going in regardless, but look at the little fake. Look at that turn. There was a sidestep earlier on from Daniel to fake out the defender of NRG. You don't know which way he's going. Daniel makes you look silly, and he just totaled the defense of NRG. It looked like that one was still going in. Regardless, Arsenal making sure. Yeah, the goal steal, all right? Just say it, Daz, just say it. It was a little goal steal, but for him, he's just securing it. Yeah. They don't want to leave anything to chance here against NRG. I respect it. There it is, though, the sauce we were waiting for, Daz. The extra cherry on top, and that's the mechanics from Daniel. SSG, this is when they're in their peak form. Oh, Garrett! Garrett! Oh! Garrett G, incredible read.
And we were talking about mechanics on the other side from Daniel, but how about the veteran Garrett G? Read it perfectly off the top of the stadium and follows through wonderfully. That's how you get it done. And we're all tied up.
Okay, we're getting a little show here on Forbidden Temple with Daniel with some fakes. Garrett, another follow-up, no double there.
They love that spot. NRG keeps blasting the ball on the top of the box, on the top of that stadium where you can't really read it as the defender, and they just keep going for it.
High ball clear. Little bit of a jumble in the corner. Arsenal trying to get a bump on Squish. He's a little awkward. Reynolds tried to come in to clear it out. SSG on the offense. Ball out to the corner. Another bump. Garrett was going to get a clear there. Now Justin will be the one needed to go up. Still, more pressure. Daniel, high ball. Arsenal with the follow-up off the corner. Daniel, can he get the touch to put it in? No, says Justin. Barely. The NRG defense is holding on.
Oh, and that one hurts for Daniel. I went to his perspective and saw that he was on 0 boost, and you were wondering why that shot was so weak, and it's exactly that. No boost in the tank, couldn't get the follow-up, couldn't get the speed he wanted on it, but regardless, it was a good look and one of the better ones we have seen out of Spacestation to take the lead. All tied up here, under 2 minutes left. We've got Justin holding it down in the midfield, doesn't get the follow-up, and NRG look to maybe build something on offense if they can even get it past the midfield line, because Space Station, they've set up their camp there.
Oh man, more bumps. NRG defense struggling there, but they will get some open space. They try to work out that transition, but that's a good clear from Arsenal.
Daniel.
SSG trying to get a big time goal. You see that clock ticking down. Reynolds on the ball. Flick open, but way too far. Daniel side flips, cannot reach that at all as much as he wanted to. Garrett will interrupt Reynolds, but he was still trying to send that to Arsenal. You can see the push and pull effect. Garrett G now with a cut on the play. Daniel awkward, and we'll have to play that one low into Squishy.
And I'm looking through all the players from Space Station Gaming. It's hard for them to grab any boost. Finally, when they get on offense, they can steal some. But before then, they were all sitting on empty in the tank. There's going to be a big clear from NRG to commit to the play, and Garrett G has them to bails them out, excuse me. As we still have SSG there swarming, and it comes down to 150-50. Reynolds on the sidewall, 1 challenge, 1 goal.
And on the 12th shot SSG take, it's the one that pinches in the net for NRG. Good 50 there for Reynolds, reading the defense perfectly. And now they control the pace for the final 36 seconds.
That was an interesting challenge for Reynolds. In that situation, you just want to win it, and for him to get the goal on top of that, it's just got to feel so good, especially against an NRG roster where goals are very hard to come by. Here they are again, though. Reynolds, can he make it 2 goals? Let's see.
Play out. Testing shot from Arsenal. Another cut into the play, not letting NRG have any space. SSG trying to play the 50 game, but NRG break out a little bit. Garrett has to go back. Big clear towards the sidewalls and where he wants it to be. It's sent to Squishy. Squishy has to keep this one up. Trying to get it to Garrett. Soft touch. Garrett, will he be able to connect with it? No, it'll hit the ground. And we got a tied up series.
Yeah, and we saw another demo from Arsenal rotating back as that third man took out, I believe it would have been Justin there as the third man to keep the ball up. So just destroying any opportunities that would have been given up to NRG. And
look at
as
those
we reflect
shots.
now, it's crazy, man. Space Station, they really picked things up.
I mean, amazing. Like the shot total so high there for Space Station Gaming.
Yeah,
and the same thing for the defense. Yeah, so good from Daniel. You see this solo play from Garrett G, and yeah, it was a great goal from him, but that was really the rest of NRG's offense for the rest of the game. They weren't able to really let much happen. And now when we look at this, it seems like SSG have a formula. Just keep the pressure up, because at some point the defense starts to break here for the general NRG.
Yeah, and it was the opposite story here in game 2 with the 50-50s. Originally, like if you think back to the kickoff goal that Squishy got in game 1, he got that goal solely off of a 50-50, but then it's the same thing. However, for Space Station Gaming, Reynolds, the game-winning goal off of a 50-50, a weird challenge, and it's coming down to those small instances in the game where you need to win the challenge. You need to know how to position yourself up against the other team, and speed can come into that. A lot of different things. Boost can end up affecting those challenges. In game 3, though, who will be dominant in the midfield and start winning those challenges more, because I think that's what it's coming down to, Daz.
Squishy!
Oh!
Flip reset! You saw the fake there! Oh my goodness!
We go from very slow 50-50 goals into flip reset fakes. You take one player out and then dust the other two in the net. Squishy muffins, my goodness.
It's been a long time since we've seen that one. And of course, it's Squishy to do it. What a start in game 3 for NRG. SSG trying to get back on this one very quickly. As Reynolds pops that one up high, Daniel looks to intercept the ball here a little bit. Again, SSG want to get back to how they were playing in game 2. Start that offensive pressure. Keep the ball in front. Make NRG break on that defensive end.
They were also suffocating NRG in the midfield. I mean, winning every challenge, but it's not the case in game 3 as Justin wins that one. Squishy is here for an early touch. He goes for a smaller touch and almost get a rule 1, but it's broken off by Daniel. A bit surprising there. I don't want to be the guy to call him out, but
called him out.
Daniel, he bailed out of it, man. He bailed out of it.
Yeah, he's here to play.
And I feel like if there's any player here you'd expect it would probably be Daniel to keep the rule 1. So I'm a little shocked. I feel
like he's a younger one. You know, I don't think the young guns do that these days.
He's got the expectations. Oh, it's not the youngins. You know, they're not hip with it. Okay.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. SSG though trying to make something happen on the offense. Arsenal tried to get that flick over, but NRG was set. You could tell everybody was just, waiting there on the NRG defense for that ball to get to him. Here's a turn. What is SSG doing when they get these opportunities? When you get a free ball on the sidewall, you see Daniel trying to play that fast game, but he ends up hitting it into the defense. Again, giving the ball to NRG, not necessarily the thing that you want them to do. You want them to be uncomfortable, make awkward touches out so you can control it a little bit more.
Well, NRG are playing much slower than I think they're normally used to, and it's to counter the aggression from Spacestation Gaming, the passing play to obliterate NRG's defense.
Wait, Dale gets credit. Ooh! Hit his wheel.
Hey, yo.
Reynolds, what a shot.
I think Reynolds looks mad, too. You can see him in the face cam. He looks upset. And to be honest with you, I think Daniel deserves that goal. Did you see the flip reset to get that pass in the first place?
Oh, that flip reset was nice.
Come on, he deserved it. He deserved it.
Well, he got it. He'll pat the stats there a little bit, but Reynolds, he was really impressed with that shot. Arsenal will get a chance to shoot, but Squishy says no.
Oh my, the counterattack though, there's so much space. Garrett G, it's one shot and it's saved by Daniel. So quick to rotate up on that sidewall. Garrett G, if he placed it lower, it might have squeezed under Daniel, but Daniel had it read from a mile away.
SSG starting to play with a little bit more momentum. You see how they're moving downfield. They're quick. And even with that quick counterattack from NRG, you saw how fast Daniel got to that ball. Now Squishy off the ceiling, jumps off. But wasn't able to really get a good 50 on that play. So now Spacestation. It's Arsenal in front. He was trying to look for a demo. Garrett G saw an early challenge from him just to make sure it gets out the way. So risky are plays like that, but you see SSG coming upfield, you got to do something.
Yeah, and look at this. There's a lot of challenges from Spacestation Gaming where nobody from NRG even wants to go up for the ball, and it's coming down to a transitional game. We haven't seen NRG hold a lot of possession, but the few opportunities that they've gotten have started in their own defensive half. However, we have the rotations, the recovery, just in time from Spacestation Gaming to get the save, Daz.
I mean, yeah, the rotations, especially from Daniel on the defensive end, have been...
Yeah.
He's been exactly where he needs to be, but he's going to need to be up big again. Squishy redirect. NRG with the lead.
All right, so Squishy starts us off. He gets a flip reset, and then now here he is with a lovely finish off that pass from Justin. While it wasn't a flip reset pass, the execution to get that one in the middle, especially from the corner, that was such a difficult one to pull off, and Justin made it look easy.
You got to bring the ball out just enough to where your teammate gets there before the defender. And he allowed Squishy to really pick and choose where he wanted to place that shot. Now NRG with the lead. This one's been crazy. Daniel now, solo play effort. Reynolds trying to get that follow-up and play a 50 high. Who's going to be next? It's Arsenal. Low ground play. Wins the 50 against Garrett, but the ball bouncing off that back wall only leads to issues for SSG trying to hold on to possession.
And it's difficult for SSG because NRG, they're comfortable with staying on their own half. I feel like most of this game, NRG have just been on the back foot with their backs against the wall. And maybe not for too long will they hold the lead, but it's saved. Gary G out of the net, finds a touch, and keeps them in the lead.
There were 2 members of SSG in the net with Garrett. It looked like it was impossible for him to make that save.
How are they comfortable like this? SSG, they are suffocating NRG. They're taking the boost. They're getting demos. Surely something has to slip up. We're waiting for that moment out of NRG.
Double commits NRG scrambling to get back. Arsenal drops that down, but Daniel can't go. He ends up having to get out the play, tries to come back in, has Reynolds in midfield, play up high. Reynolds does get there first, but Justin's still able to get the 50. Final 13, Arsenal puts a shot on. Daniel, no, that's a mistouch. It's going the wrong way. Time ticking down. SSG need to move upfield, and that clear is going to give it back to NRG. Ball still high. Is Reynolds going to be able to control this? They've done it before against this team. Squishy, though. Oh, wait, Daniel has
still
it.
Up. Daniel, what do you got? Daniel, you've gotten this before. You know how to make buzzer beaters, and it's going to fall down. Wait, Arsenal. My boy, he's keeping it up.
Still a chance. Reynolds out to Daniel. Daniel got a piece of it. Arsenal on top of the ball again. Flicked it over one. Squishy is going to get a double. Is that going to hit the ground? It is.
Ooh.
Tense game 3. But the general NRG end up taking the win there.
This was a crazy one. I mean, NRG, they were stuck literally in their own half the majority of the game. I don't know how they remained so comfortable. And I think that's the main thing for NRG coming into this game. They told themselves, and they must have known that their playstyle has to be defensive, that they have to stay really deep with their rotations. We started it off with an absolute slapper from Squishy Muffins, and then another one from Daniel with the flip reset pass where he stole the goal. And most of these shots and goals from NRG, it was their first one. They weren't keeping steady and consistent pressure, Daz. They were just coming up for maybe 1-2 shots at the max, and then they'd have to rotate back, but they were comfortable with it, and they managed to hold on.
Yeah, that's really big here. Paying attention to NRG being able to like hold out on defense.
Yeah.
There was at least maybe like 2 or 3 chances there towards the end of the game where Spacestation looked like, okay, they're getting a tying goal here.
Yeah.
And I mean, we saw double commits on defense. We saw, again, that scramble of control. I don't think they're comfortable being on defense this much, Turtle, but they're making it work.
That's what I'm saying. It's well, you'd think they'd be uncomfortable, but the fact that they just keep working with it and they don't care, and it's almost like they don't even look too stressed out. I don't think NRG ever looks stressed out, to be honest, with the webcams. I mean, just robots. I mean, remember Squishy Muffins on Cloud 9, but my goodness, they are stuck literally in their own half, can't get the ball out, and yet they are maintaining possession. And I think that gives a lot of life and a really good sign for SSG that it's just a matter of time. It's a waiting game because the pressure has proven to work. You just got to make sure you can force a mistake out of NRG, and you could take the series.
It came down to one transition where Justin got that pass to Squishy.
Yeah.
Things changed there. That game still is going on. But NRG's been able to make the most on their strides upfield, and we've been able to see that. Not that time, though. Garrett with a big whiff. They're looking at the backboard. A miss there from Daniel. Arsenal's still up there, but it's a free ball to NRG. Pass. Garrett. Squishy. He got on the angle.
I don't know how he found that small little area because Arsenal had the goal pretty much covered. He's waiting on the backboard. You see him. He's waiting for the shot from Squishy. And if Squishy hits that at any other spot, it's going to get saved. The man is too accurate and gets the first one for NRG.
Smiles on NRG after that goal. And we see exactly. I mean, they had a lot of time to plan that one out. The execution from Squishy on that shot, phenomenal.
I mean, he's been pretty flawless so far with that shooting accuracy. Even in that last game, just that first goal, getting the fake and to stay out here. He's been the moving force on offense, which originally it was Justin in this head-to-head against SSG. And on the other side, we expected it to be more from Daniel. We've gotten some good glimpses, and Reynolds, he's stepping up on offense to get one that bounces off a couple of defenders and in.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal almost got the flip reset there, realized he didn't have it, gives it to Reynolds, and you see the ball bouncing off the defense. Unfortunate there for NRG, but for Spacestation, that's exactly what they need. That pressure to just make the defense make the mistakes on their own. Working out.
And it's going to be difficult. Very commendable pass there from Arsenal, who left the shot. Now he's going for a couple more fakes. Arsenal just mind gaming everybody on NRG. He sets it up for Reddles, who maybe can give Daniel a shot. It's a tight angle. All three members of NRG are in the exact same spot, but things slow down, and Garrett G looks to dribble.
I mean, the way that we're seeing SSG, this is how much of a threat they are on offense. They have NRG jumping very early on some touches, have the entire defense trying to break down plays. It's been, again, this comes down to like some of these push and pull situations.
Yeah. Well, and very slower approach at times from NRG, where we just saw Garrett G slow the play down and hold on a second. So many people just committed on that one shot. It looked like we almost had 3, maybe 4 cars in the same spot, but still, nothing from NRG as they look maybe to build something on offense, intercepted by Reddles, and they move out.
SSG low on boost as Justin goes up. His shot just blocked out. And Arsenal, what a great follow-up to deny Squishy the shot chance. Halfway through game 4. NRG still with pressure. Justin won't get a double there, but will force Arsenal to knock it away. SSG doing a great job following up on defense to buy themselves some space. NRG, you can see them starting to get a little bit more offensive than we've previously seen them. I think, you know, you said it earlier with that defense just being kind of suffocated. I think it's starting to get to them.
Oh, but slowly SSG are breaking down that defense whenever they at least find any form of possession with those demos. And yeah, I mean, NRG, they're not alone in their half anymore. They haven't been stuck on the goal line as much, but it doesn't matter because Daniel is going to absolutely obliterate the defense you've got set up.
Garrett couldn't get the rid. Daniel says he'll take those every single day.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing goal there for the Space Station Gaming's newest addition. A very valuable addition, I might say.
And maybe you think this is what SSG are craving. Some more counterattacks, maybe some bigger clears, like that one from Daniel where he has more space on the backboard. Because if they're holding that possession the entire time, sometimes the quality of shots can dwindle down a bit. And instead, while they're getting fewer shots on target, they're much more lethal dads.
And that's really what it's about. Just actual chances that are dangerous towards a team's defense. SSG completely understand that they're able to get a lot of pressure, but for them, you know, quality and quantity doesn't hurt, because the more shots they put on, the more they stretch NRG's defense out, and the more it leads to NRG making some mistakes, which we have seen this series.
Nice 50-50 from Daniel. Under a minute left. NRG leading in this series, but if this one runs out of time, we'll see it all tied up from Space Station Gaming. Another follow-up from Justin, and right when you think Space Station Gaming know how to handle NRG, you see Justin come through.
Yeah, it's really the 50 and the double commit that opens up a lane for Justin. And I mean, that's a really, really picture-perfect shot. Just enough speed to sneak through the defense.
Yeah. Still impressed with Squishy's performance throughout this whole series, winning every 50-50, finding those shots, getting the setups. Justin getting a piece of the Reddles here. And now Garrett G, an open net, but it's saved from Arsenal as he stayed in the air and found the follow-up. Squishy, he might have a flip reset opportunity. NRG knocking on the door to win this one.
20 seconds. Squishy uses the flip. So pass to Justin. Daniel with the cutout. It'll be Reddles and Garrett on the 50. Garrett wins that one, and it'll go straight to Arsenal. He's awkward. Justin, it's still in SSG's end. Ball out. Squishy trying to set up Garrett. Garrett gets bumped, still tries to get a piece of it. And will we see a drive from Space Station Gaming? Ball's cleared away.
Oh, does he keep it up? No.
And Squishy let it fall. They need a reset. Game 4 overtime coming at you.
I'm kind of sad, Squishy. I wanted you to keep it up. I wanted to see an opportunity from both sides, but I guess we won't get it. Instead, we have OT, where leading up to this overtime, the momentum had definitely shifted rapidly in favor of NRG. Maybe things will change, though, as Space Station Gaming find a clear and connect with Daniel.
High ball. A little awkward of a clear there, but gets downfield.
Oh.
Now Arsenal.
Here we go.
Justin right behind him. He's going to be awkward this entire way, but still gets the ball out to the midfield. And Squishy has to go up. Reddles is hunting. Now it's going the other way. Transition, pass, middle. Justin can't connect. And Arsenal will take it And around we go. But now things finally slowing down. Back and forth chances. Transition still coming up. Justin tries to put a shot on. Daniel will pick up another save. That'll be his third one of the game.
This is unbelievable. It feels like the ball is literally doing laps around the field. We start off in the SSG half, then things transition out over to NRG's, but then they get an instant clear towards the other side. Not one team can maintain constant pressure. However, NRG, they have held on to this ball for quite some time. Maybe Reynolds can start that lap again and get things going for SSG.
Big game here. SSG got to come out on top of this one. Daniel gets another save. And still not done. They got to get this ball out. You see Garrett G looking for demos there on Reynolds, trying to throw things off. Squishy to Justin. Back to Squishy, but it's too far. He can't get there. Trying to find a pass out, but the touches from NRG haven't been as on point as they'd like. Garrett with a chance, but defense set from Space Station Gaming. They won't give up one that easily.
And everybody on NRG, they're looking for demos. Look at Garrett G. Squishy also just went for another demo, and somehow Space Station have dodged them. If one of them connects, that might be the end of this OT. Arsenal, he's there to bail out his own teammates and get the save. It has been back and forth so far in this overtime, Daz.
Yeah, to say it hasn't been sloppy. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean,
it's weird. It's weird seeing these two teams, of all of them, be a bit sloppy with the rotation.
It's just when you're trying to disrupt the other team so much, sometimes it's just hard. Things just kind of get lost in transition, and everybody is trying to make the most out of what they got. Squishy, does he have the flip? Doesn't matter.
Demo.
Garrett looking for a double here, but can't find a connection on the ball. Space Station Gaming. Again, looking to tie this series up. Good bump. Reynolds with space. Has to get past Garrett and Justin. Does it?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, Reynolds! Unbelievable from Reynolds. Picks it up and completely puts the defense in shambles.
Oh my goodness, what a fake too. You saw Reynolds jump up. He hit the ball with the nose of his car, but got no power on it, and it ended up faking the defender, lands perfectly under it, and then gets the flick in. Space Station Gaming, they were relentless. They held it down on defense through so many demos, so many disruption plays out of NRG where they're rotating, they're taking out a player, they're getting a demo, they're taking your boost, and Space Station, it doesn't matter. They can hold on and wait for Reynolds to bail them out.
I mean, if you guys are watching at home, buckle up, because these teams are playing lights out Rocket League. I mean, look at that play.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Reynolds coming out clutch for Space Station.
I'm losing it, Daz, because it's weird. It's like the teams on each side are so uncomfortable because of how aggressive those rotations have been. And not all the time do we see NRG pick a fight with whoever's being aggressive. A lot of times NRG will just let Space Station do whatever they want, take more boost, get demos, because NRG focus on those counterattacks. But that hasn't been working, especially in that game. So NRG try to pick things up on the physical side. They go for demos. They take more boost. It doesn't work out. And meanwhile, as a result, we get all this crazy back and forth Rocket League where maybe the rotations aren't there because somebody else on the field just got bumped all the way back to their own end, Dez.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a field day breaking this series down. I'll tell you that much. Looking at the general NRG against Space Station, anything but comfortable can be said on both sides of the field. But there's a lot of room for some star power action, and we've seen that as there's just superstars all on the field in their own respective rights.
And we've seen a lot of highlight plays so far in the series. We saw a lot from Squishy Muffins. Justin was getting involved a couple times with the passing, the double tap, of course, from Garrett G. Meanwhile, on the other side, Daniel, he has been playing exceedingly well. We've got a lot of plays and a lot of aggressive demos from Arsenal, and of course, Reynolds now closing it out in that previous game, tying up the series.
Squishy gonna take this one. Here, G. It's a beat out on Daniel. Justin, good shot. Play Garrett G. Great redirect to start off game 5.
Yeah, and Garrett G, he's so tenacious here as he lands in the net, and then as he's rotating out, Daniel might have been able to get a touch there, but Garrett G to secure it. And he did a lot of the heavy lifting for that play, started things off, and was able to close it.
We've seen this happen where NRG have started out hot, like in the first minute of multiple games. It really comes down once SSG kind of get their footing in. That's when you start to see the pressure as they're looking to set some up right now. Good beat on Daniel, beats out 2. And tried to get a demo on Squishy, but Squishy up early. And here's Arsenal. Clear upfield to Reddles. Reddles has a lot of boost here to work with, but that's a light touch. Testing ball. Oh, Daniel couldn't get control of that. Arsenal comes in to bail him out. Could have been dangerous.
Yeah. Really back and forth already after that first goal. We've seen big clears from both sides. SSG, there's space now for Daniel to get something potential off the backboard. A follow-up from Reddles. And then another 50-50. Space Station Gaming really spaced out, and Justin's forced to go for a shot there. And then Arsenal keeps trying to steal these goals. I'm not sure if Squishy would have found the save, but regardless, this one did eventually go in.
Yeah, I really can't tell on that. Honestly, a little shaky there, but hey, they'll take it.
Bro, I was on Squishy's perspective, and it looked like Squishy was not going to get the save, and then we all of a sudden saw Arsenal get the touch. And hold on a minute, off the kickoff, Justin gets a goal. NRG are now in the lead. What? How did this go in?
It's the cheat. Justin cheated up just enough. Ball bounced out. He's able to beat out Daniel to it. No one home from Space Station Gaming. So, even with that goal that we saw from SSG, you can't afford to get too comfortable.
Yeah.
These kickoffs are crazy.
It's ridiculous to see something like that slip in after all the mechanics we have seen. Squishy, another huge shot, and Squishy sitting on 66% goal participation for this series, doing a lot of the work. He continues that trend and puts another shot on.
Now Squishy, that back wall. NRG is set for defense. When you look at some of these individual battles that are happening, Daniel gets past two, and Arsenal just pushes through the whole team. SSG dancing past them.
And look at the threat that Daniel can cause. Squishy and Gary G, they're in the same spot. They don't know how to handle the newcomer Daniel. They're waiting to see what he can do, and even with that level of patience, Daniel is still outplaying you and getting that pass in.
Can we talk about how he got the flip reset and used it immediately off the ball? That time, like, you don't see that every day.
Yeah.
And for Daniel pulling it out here, of course, NRG, not expecting it at all, caught them way off guard. Another chance for a goal. Justin had to dodge Reynolds. He was trying to take him out.
How often do we see NRG have two players in the same position? Usually they're so organized, and I know, Daz, you're obviously aware of this, where NRG, they like to play a very clean and, like I said, organized defense. So for them to both be in the same spot, wondering what Daniel's going to do, it's got to be a shocking thing to witness here as SSG have tied things up.
They're definitely getting creative. And for NRG, you know, the team likes to pass a lot. We see them all the time, even now. Trying to go for that three-man pass play. Garrett just squishy down to Justin. Still cut out. This SSG roster, they don't necessarily, they're easily able to read a play like that and cut it out. And then, of course, when you look at their mechanics in the way that any individual can show up and shake away a defense, that's what makes NRG start to scramble. Because not only do their plays that, you know, cost a lot of resources to create get shut down, then they have to transition, play on low boost. Ends up being a tough match for the General, which is why we're still tied up as we approach that 1 minute mark.
And I'm waiting personally to see SSG start to activate the physical game, because it has slowed down slightly with the demos. And while things are moving in their favor a lot of times down the field, they can activate that. They can all of a sudden flip the switch and get a demo like that from Reynolds. Doesn't even matter, though, when Justin is absolutely on a tear.
Oh, Justin, first touch, jumps off the steal and uses the dodge at the perfect time to push that one in. Justin bringing NRG the lead in a crucial time in game. 50 seconds left.
He's the player who was able to close out and secure that win in the grand finals. His stats alone were so impressive. To see him step up now, a good sign for all NRG fans at home. However, you're faced with one player, Daniel. Might make things hard.
There's Daniel right now. Look at how quickly he's able to get off the back wall, play that first touch into a 50. Now moving upfield. Getting Garrett G up early. NRG trying to manage the clock. 20 seconds.
Oh, we got another toe.
Looking for another goal and almost found it. Daniel gets the double, but a little awkward. Ball gets sent away again. Does Space Station Gaming have a 0-second play? It doesn't matter. Justin finds the angle. A 2-goal lead.
A hat trick to this man's name, Justin. He read this bounce. Daniel went for the boost instead of the ball. A classic situation, and Justin made him pay. The security has been found for NRG, and it looks like they're going to go to match point.
Yeah, this one ticking down. And
oh my,
again,
don't do it again. Don't do it again.
I think we're fine. Match point.
What is going on? This series, I feel like you could come into this series. We've already seen it before. We've already seen it play out between these two teams. It's like the opposite of what we had witnessed before. It's been so back and forth. Each team changing their play style every single game. It's like we get a different version of NRG and SSG, and it looks like we also do have a timeout for Space Station Gaming. We'll see what they have to figure out.
You know, if there's anyone who can figure it out, it's Coach Chrome. He's the brains behind the Space Station Gaming operation, and he's always a treat to talk to. I know that he's very proud of like this particular roster. We ended up talking to him. We had an interview a couple of weeks ago where he talked about picking up Daniel, how that ended up working out. He says the team vibes are very high. Daniel's a player that loves to learn, and I think it's motivated the rest of the Space Station Gaming team. And they're gonna need to kind of, you know, talk to Daniel in some of these like situations to be able to guide him, because this is a lot of pressure.
And well, the thing of it is, it doesn't really seem like Daniel is slipping up under that pressure. While in that last moment, maybe opting to go for the boost instead of the ball could have been a signal and a sign that he's slightly off his game. I still think he's had a fantastic performance throughout this entire series. So not too much pressure on his shoulders. He's been here before. He already has that first regional event, even making it to the grand finals. So he knows what it's like to be in this high pressure situation. Now the question is, what do they implement to change things up? How do they attack and approach the NRG defense that's constantly changing and evolving as each second goes on, Daz?
Exactly. And I know there's people at home who like, you know, wonder what they're saying, and you'll end up probably hearing it eventually in one of the comms videos that comes out for SSG.
Yeah.
Whatever they go over, it's going to have to cause a big change. They got to force game 7 here against an NRG team that, you know, they're starting to really show up in some of these games. You've seen some of the offense come out from them in terms of the pass plays, the individual performance, and that's the one that closed it out from Justin. Shots like those are so hard to defend, and NRG, the shot placement has just been on form for them this series.
And maybe that's an indicator that Daniel is putting too much responsibility on his own shoulders, because he's opting to go for the boost. Maybe he wants to do all the heavy lifting on offense, when maybe if he just slows down a bit, focuses up on the fundamentals on defense, and gets those 50-50s, against NRG, things could change. We'll have to find out. They had a timeout. They had some time to think it out. Now, will they implement anything different? Because they're up against NRG on match point.
Match point in the upper bracket semifinals. Who gets to go to the winners final? And who will we see in the lower bracket? Again, right in the middle of the winner split. Both teams trying to give themselves the most easiest road possible going into a bit 3, so they can lock themselves in for the winner major.
Yeah, and there's also, I believe there's a chance even for NRG to clinch a spot, but it's up to like several different things. I think SSG obviously need to lose. Rogue loss in the lower quarterfinal, and I think an Envy loss at Oxygen, which we did end up seeing. So things have been crazy for NRG. A lot of moving pieces, but at the end of the day, you control your own destiny if you just keep taking wins, Dads.
Exactly. And I think that's all that matters to them, knowing this team. Just play the match in front of you. I think the same can be said for the Space Station Gaming roster. They missed out on the fall major, and they are trying to climb their way back into being, you know, that top team that a lot of their fans know they can be. As Daniel tries to, a big demo play there. Reynolds also tried to go for Garrett. Daniel tried to go for Justin, but no one able to connect there. So ball will get played back out into the midfield.
On here we have Garrett off the backboard. Squishy did get bumped, but he still found a touch. And then Garrett G, the extra dunk. I'm amazed that Squishy was able to react after that bump play on the backboard. He still did get the pass off. It didn't work out, but that's just an indicator of how strong and resilient NRG and their offense can be, because even if you demo them, you take them out of the play, they'll find a way to make it work.
Reynolds trying to make that offensive push work. Now transition. A race, and Arsenal will beat out Squishy to get there. Sends it across to Daniel, who's in weight. Play out to Reynolds, and a crash on the goal line blocks out that shot.
Now we've got Gary G.
Whoa.
Nice little shot from Squishy. This is getting more and more amped up for NRG. They are literally firing on all cylinders. Every player obviously taking a shot. Gary G with 2 shots to his name. A double demo. Squishy and Daniel equalizing each other, and that's going to leave some space for Justin.
Justin tries to control it. Demo on Squishy. Now Arsenal plays it high, looks for the double. Won't be able to get it. Gary G can't connect with the ball either. And Daniel shot straight at Squishy. But maybe another chance here. Daniel up fast. Does he have the double? Daniel! He does! Double for Daniel!
This is what we expect and can now expect in almost every single series from this kid. He is destroying them with the double taps. The mechanics are just on another level for Daniel. We have seen it literally in every series with him popping off, and he continues to do so.
We wanted to know how would he look after the timeout. It's safe to say he's looking good, but there's Squishy to respond. Top right corner.
And this is so demoralizing for Daniel because he just popped off. He just got the double tap, and then he's alone on the defensive line. It's a 50-50 from Squishy Muffins, who has been participating in so many goals throughout the series, winning that challenge. It goes off the corner and in. And right when you think you might have an advantage or a chance against NRG, they shut you back down.
Now, SSG has to start over. And looking to force that game 7. Garrett. Up there, Reynolds gets a piece of it. And SSG taking their time. Squishy even hunting, but Daniel handling all that pressure well.
We'll see. Maybe something out of Arsenal as he's looking to get an air dribble. Gary G's already up. He wins the 50-50, which has been the difference maker for NRG on defense to stay alive. However, any ounce of space that you give to Daniel, or quite simply any player on SSG, could be the end of you, because those mechanics are just incredible. Here's Reynolds to recover. He actually opts to go back and get a bigger hit off the backboard, but not to anybody or a player.
And there was a chance there. Daniel up now trying to beat Squishy. The ball will float in front of the net, and Justin will be able to pick it up. But it's coming down to that time. Final minute, game 5. NRG on match point, looking to close this series out. Garrett wants to set up Squishy, but Squishy will have to chase this down. Be 50'd out to Reynolds. Reynolds with a lot of speed on that ball. Garrett G will connect in time, but SSG getting some of those off-ball demos, trying to slow down NRG. They're a little bit low on boost, but they're managing the ball correctly.
And what NRG seem to be doing are going for these long clears. That's just in the double tap. That could have been the final nail in the coffin. He didn't hit it. As I was saying, NRG, they're going for a lot of these big clears, Daz, because they realize SSG, they're overextending to get to physical plays and to get that last demo on the goalkeeper. So a big clear could create some kind of counterattack. However, we're still all tied up. The final 13 seconds, SSG, their lives right now in the series on the line to take down NRG.
Reynolds up, looking for the win.
Oh, he has his
flip.
flip.
Flips in front of the goal line. Daniel tries to get a piece of it, looks for the bump. Reynolds win. No! Overtime in game 6.
NRG, SSG, they're just mosquitoes. There's literal mosquitoes flying around NRG's defensive side. They've got to get the fly swatter out and just smack them down, because everybody's trying to demo you off the field. Squishy just got bumped in that last second to keep him alive. Couldn't get the save, but he's bailed out. Daz, this is insane from NRG's defense.
It is. They're holding on, but SSG clearly on the push here. Daniel beats out Garrett, but not at the cost of him. He gets demoed. We'll have to restart.
Squishy.
Arsenal's up first. Gets that ball. And look at that. Gary, he opts to play this solo because he saw Justin was getting cut out. So now Reynolds with the beat.
It's clear.
What's Squishy gonna do now? Plays this off the sidewall. Immediately shut down. Reynolds got some bumps on Garrett, but Justin's on the ball now.
Look at the dribbles. Look at the space that's given up. It worked out for Arsenal because it was just tossed away from, Justin. But you don't want to give that amount of space up to NRG, who are so strong with that transition game.
And here, you're starting to see the transition build up. Battle for possession. Garrett with the win. At each moment, you see that ball bounce off a team's back wall. You get and Garrett with the dunk to finish. NRG winning 6.
It's all because of Justin and that win in the corner, forcing Daniel in such a weird spot. Garrett G stays aggressive, and another 50-50 win from NRG, the challenge game, unmatched, and they take Spacestation Gaming down.
Yeah, but they definitely had to work for it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Came down to the wire many times over the course of this series, and ultimately, it came down to Garrett G just being a little faster off that bounce, which is what makes the difference. But man, oh man, we saw all types of plays. Look at this one from Daniel.
Oh,
beautiful work on the double. That set things up for SSG, and it forced NRG to have to get some plays themselves. Again, trading blows constantly over the course of this.
And they were winning challenges. Like, that was such a routine play for NRG that scored them several goals, was just winning a 50-50, winning a challenge in front of the net to get the ball to just squeeze in. And if it didn't go in, it would eventually go up and set up a different player waiting in the midfield. That challenge game, something Spacestation are going to have to work on, or maybe it ended up being the speed. They're going to have to do some replay reviews because that's a difficult one, and one that you think that Spacestation Gaming could have taken the win in, Daz.
Yeah, so many opportunities there for SSG. I mean, but they really had NRG on the ropes. And this is one of the more tighter teams that have been able to, make NRG work this hard on some of their offensive plays.
Yeah.
But that being said, NRG move on to the winners finals. SSG move on to the lower bracket. We'll take a look at some of the lower bracket matches and recap this series after a quick break.